Hello, I'm Jay April, and next to me, everybody knows who this guy is, Eric Gilliom.
Hi, Jay. Thanks for having me, man.
Good seeing you, Eric. You know, I got to Maui about, I don't know, a little over 30 years ago. And I heard your name. I said, this Gilliom guy. I mean, you were everywhere. You were singing, you were dancing. You went to Hollywood for a while. And I was kind of in awe of you. I was afraid to even approach you because you were such a big deal.
Well, you know, I'm just trying to make a living, Jay. That's all, man.
I know.
I'm trying to hustle.
Yeah, and what really scaring me is that you look exactly the same now as you did then. You don't age.
Oh, I appreciate that, you know.
Something's wrong. He must have made a deal with the devil or something. Did you make a deal with the devil?
Well, I've made several deals with the devil, but my trick is that I don't, you know, shaving my head. You don't know what color my hair actually is. It's kind of your color.
Yeah, blonde. Oh. Well, Eric, you are an amazing performer. I mean, I've seen so many different sides of you. I mean, your talent is legendary. As you know, we did the Hawaii music series here on Akakū, which was a big sensation around Christmas time. We got great feedback where you interviewed some of Hawaii's great luminaries in the musical field. Not only are you a good interviewer, but you're an amazing performer, and we're going to get right into it. You've done 150 performances of something called the White Hawaiian?
Yeah, well, the show's called White Hawaiian. I'm coming up on my 150th show on March 1st, where we're closing the show and taking it elsewhere. But yeah, it's a show that our current film commissioner, Brian Cohn, and my high school brother, Baldwin High School, go Bears! We wrote the show started in 2018, and you know, Brian and I sat down and I said, you know, I want to tell my story. I want to tell our family's history. And so we just started, you know, writing. And so over the course of a year, we were just compiling the stories and putting the ideas in and trying to come up with, you know, a proper show. The show was inspired, this idea was inspired by the actor John Leguizamo, who's a Latino actor from New York, and I'd seen a bunch of his Broadway one-man shows, which are basically autobiographical, and I got really inspired, and Brian and I sat down and we wrote this you know, autobiographical true story called White Hawaiian.
Well, let's take a look at the clip. We have a clip that's sort of a trailer for the show.
I do. This is from.
We should take a look.
Thank you. This is when the show opened at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center in 2019.
A two, a three. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and aloha! Our story begins in 1902 on the shores of Kahului Harbor. It seemed like a good idea at the time. We knew we were Hawaiian from Napua. The family your great-grandfather told your grandmother, and your grandmother told me. It seemed like a good idea at the time. I was terrified. Well, it's bad enough that he's so... Hey, you a local boy? White Hawaiian. A Hawaiian. And no one can remember what Eric's Hawaiian name is.
Wow. Wow. So your family goes back a long time, huh? As performers. You got the performer gene. Where did you get it from?
Got it from my grandmother, Jenny Napua Wood. This is my grandmother, a photograph of her. She's the baby who's sitting on the lap of my great-grandmother, Jenny Ho'okano Ka'ahanui, from the island of Molokai. She met this crazy bare-fisted boxer who had been shanghaied on a boat out of San Francisco, and he ended up in Kahului Harbor, unbeknownst to him. And he had met my great-grandmother, who had just paddled a canoe with her brothers from Molokai, and they were coming over to sell fish. And they met, fell in love, and they had 4 children, one of which, the baby here in this photograph, is my grandmother. And my grandmother then, you know, that's Grandma Ho'okano right there.
So what year are we talking? What do you think? I
mean, we're talking, Grandma was 1923? No.
Wow.
Well, I went to Baldwin. I'm horrible at math.
It was like
I never paid attention. But, you know, just after
1800s, late 1800s?
Yeah, you know, right around the turn of the century. My grandma was, you know, Amy and I talk a lot about my grandma, Amy Hānaialiʻi, who is my sister. And we talk a lot about Grandma. We've been honoring her legacy in her life, and that's really where the entertainment in the family started. She at a very young age, this is Grandma, this is her promo picture from all of her years of being in the entertainment business. But at a very young age, she became a Kodak Hula dancer. So when the Lurleen would come to Hawaii and disembark.
The Lurleen was a ship.
The Lurleen
That's how people got here.
The Lurleen was the ship. It was the only way people got here. This is before the planes started flying. They would disembark and they would see the hula dancers, the Kodak hula dancers, and Grandma is one of those dancers. She got on the ship and then she would go back and forth to Hollywood performing on the ship, and eventually she got to LA and she was like, Hollywood's amazing. So she stayed in LA and had a tremendous career.
I mean, that's a very glamorous picture right there.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
eternal.
She had what's great about that photograph, she had a blow up of that was, you know, a giant poster size, and she literally carried that poster with her everywhere that she was going to perform. And so I got to keep, I still have the poster.
And she didn't just perform on the stage. I remember when I first got to Maui, your grandma was still alive, and I think it was at Halemakua, one of those places. And she got up and entertained the whole crowd and did the hula, and she was fantastic.
Yeah, once an entertainer, always an entertainer. Yeah, she lived to be 91 years old.
Wow.
And you know, the one thing that she lost her memory on a lot of things, but she never lost her memory on singing Hawaiian songs and dancing hula. And she was a remarkable woman. I mean, born in Haleiwa, raised on Molokai. She went on to, when she got to LA, she did over 200 films and TV shows. I see her all the time.
Well, I was going to ask you if she did movies. She did 200 films.
200 films and yeah, she was in a ton of movies. She worked with all these great actors. She was in all these big famous films. Sometimes I'll be flipping through a channel and I'll see her on an episode of Gilligan's Island. It's like, that's Grandma. She was the funny.
They should have made it Gilliam's Island.
Well, that's funny you say that, because that's the name of my new production company. It's
You're kidding.
Gilliam's Island LLC.
A 3-hour tour.
I couldn't resist.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's funny because I was actually going to produce a TV show called Gilliam's Island, and I got pushed back. They said CBS or whoever owns it said, Universal said you can't do it. Anyway.
Why, too close to Gilligan's Island? Whatever. You know. Some guys in suits.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, what do they know?
But yeah, she's the reason why the show even exists. She went on to have 3 children, one of which was my dad. That's my dad at 17 years old. My mom was 18. They had met at Hawaiian Gardens in California at a luau. My dad was down there digging the hole for the pig, and Mom came up with a date and a big Samoan guy, and my dad was like, I'm going to marry you. And he did. He followed her around and went to her high school and stalked her basically until this photograph here is they had just gone to Las Vegas. They eloped and they went and got married. Dad wasn't old enough. Grandma had to fly in from New York because she was doing a show on Broadway, and she flew in to marry them, and she wasn't too happy that it was a haole girl. But my dad was in love with my mom. They stayed together 54 years before he passed, and you know he was also, you know, had the show business bug, but he was he was traveling around the country with Grandma, and they were doing luau's, and they were entertaining, and my dad he got tired of it because, you know, as he says in the show White Hawaiian, I play my dad in the show. I played all these characters in the show, and my dad says, we traveled all around the country, man. I taught people all about Hawaii, but I'd never even been there. And for him, it was kind of heartbreaking because he was promoting Hawaii. He'd been to Hawaii once when he was a little boy, but he'd never been back. So he met my mom and basically said, "That's it, we're moving to Maui." And my mom was like, where is that?
Okay, so your dad is traipsing around with you and your sister and your brother. And so did you ever get advice about performing from your grandma or from your dad? It was just observation. I mean, you were being trained the whole time since you were a little pipsqueak.
The entire show of White Hawaiian is about my dad managing my career, basically. This photograph is right before we moved to Hawaii, moved to Maui. My dad, we got all of, because we had luau clothing because we would go to luau's, and my dad was still fire knife dancing and doing things, and my mom was like, and there I am dancing the hula.
So in this photograph, tell me who's who.
So that is my mom and dad, obviously, and it's Amy Hānaialiʻi.
That's Amy over on the right.
That's before she was a Hānaialiʻi. She's Amy Renee Gilliom in that photograph, and of course that's me, the little towhead, howdy looking boy, and my brother.
Is he that much taller than you?
No, we're about the same size now. We actually look frighteningly the same in our old age, but that was before we moved here, and then we got here, and hit the ground running. My dad became, he managed the Kihei 76 service station, which was a big deal back then because that was the only service station on the south side.
Yeah, I bet. Weren't there like a dirt roads in Kihei back then?
South Kihei Road was a dirt road, man. we were loving life. This is the house that we lived in on Nama'u Street. And, back into hey, my dad's wearing the same Hawaiian shirt again, and the other shirt.
Yeah, I wonder if he washed it between those.
Yeah, so here we are, small kids. This is right, I'm getting ready to go to Kihei School, with my blonde hair like that, and, and as the proud Hawaiian boy that I was, but when I got to Kihei School, the teacher who was at that time, she said, raise your hand if you're a Hawaiian. So I did. And she smacked me in the back of the head with my own ruler because she thought I was like, and that was the first time I was like, oh, wait a minute, I am Hawaiian. I grew up a Hawaiian, but I guess they don't think that I'm Hawaiian. So that's really what the show is about, White Hawaiians.
So maybe she thought you were Hawaiian but trapped in a haole body bra.
Nah, I don't even think she did that much. That's what I looked like at Kihei School.
Yeah, you don't really look that Hawaiian in that.
Definitely
you look kind of like a white Hawaiian.
But, I grew up in a family where, we ate Hawaiian food. My grandma spoke Hawaiian in the house. I mean, I thought I was Hawaiian. And then, it was the first time I was kind of like, oh, wow, I don't look the part. So I better shut up. And so
did you was there a lot of tension back then between the Hawaiians and haoles? I
mean, small kind. It was nothing overt. I mean, kids were kids back then. They didn't. There was everybody loved everybody. We didn't have the kind of that kind of type of separation. But there were times when, like I said, I was, I raised my hand and said, can I get it? Because it was to get a form to go to Kamehameha School exploration, and I was like, yeah, I want to go to that, and she didn't give me the form. She literally walked out and passed it off to the other kids, and I was like, oh. And I went home and I told my grandma, I said, Grandma, they said, oh, if you're Hawaiian, you want to go to Kamehameha School exploration, raise your hand. And I did, and she didn't give me a form. Oh man, my grandma grabbed me by the hand. We went back to Kihei School, and she cussed out the teacher in full Hawaiian. She's just like, man, and then she
did all Hawaiian.
And I got to go. I got to go to Kamehameha School exploration, which was really funny because then I was even more.
What's exploration?
You get to go and see the school and see if it's something you really want to go to. You get to explore Kamehameha, the school on Oahu, and see if that's is something you want to school that you want to go to. And I remember it was like me and this other kid who was redheaded. And we were the two guys in the back, like going, "Wow, I don't know. We look different from everybody else."
Was he a redheaded Hawaiian?
Yes, you can't judge a book by the cover, man. You don't know where people come from, but yeah, that's what the show is largely about. The show is about a family of entertainers. Here's my dad playing in Peter Pan. It's a show about a family of entertainers that are really just. It's a show about struggle. It's a show about survival. It's a show about a little Hawaiian boy who doesn't look Hawaiian, and you meet all the characters. Yeah. Another photo, my dad was, he didn't want to get Christmas present. He wanted to be the Christmas present.
Yeah. Were you guys close, you and your dad?
Oh, so close, man. My dad was amazing. I know if people here in Maui see this, people who knew my dad, he was a truly extraordinary Hawaiian. I mean, when we did his celebration of life at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center, there's over 1,000 people showed up to that thing. And to this day, I mean, to me, that's what a real legacy looks like. It's not about how much money you make or how much fame you get. It's about the people in your community, like my dad. To this day, people come up and go, bro, you know what? Your dad, one time, I was stuck in Hana. I had a flat tire, and your dad drove all the way to Hana to come and tow me out. And I was like, that's what he did. That was the legacy of his life, and that's ultimately what White Hawaiian, the show, is about. It's about my dad.
Well, it's a great show. I mean, I've seen it twice. I've been on Broadway, not as a performer, in the audience. I've seen a lot of really great one-man shows, several. It's one of the most difficult things in the world is to stage a one-man show. You're on stage for how long?
I mean, it's an hour and 20-minute show with no intermission, and I play all the characters.
And how many costume changes?
There's almost 40 costume changes.
40 costume changes?
My longest costume change is 30 seconds.
Wow.
It's good fun. I mean, the whole show, it's
you even do a scene on roller skates.
I do a scene on roller skates. Which, now that I had a new knee put in, it's not the best idea, not the best use of it. But
well, you only have one more show left, at least for the time being.
Yeah,
and that's on March 1st.
March 1st is the last show on Maui, and then we're working on taking the show to Oahu. And I ran it on Kauaʻi for 6 months, and I may be taking it to the mainland. It's not an easy show to move around because there's a lot of visuals. There's the interstitial films, which are really beautiful, made by Adi Ala. They're gorgeous films about the history.
And this guy's done 150 performances. I can't imagine. That's a lot.
Yeah,
Can you do it in your sleep?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's second nature to me. I mean, I could turn it on at any given moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
This poster here was the very first poster that we did of the show, and the venue refused to put the title White Hawaiian on the marquee. And I was like, it's on this poster, but on the marquee. And they wouldn't put it on the marquee. I said, why don't you put that? They said, no, we're going to call it Eric Gilliom's one-man show. I said, why are you not putting it on the marquee? He said, well, because we don't want to upset the Hawaiian community. And I'm like, but I'm a Hawaiian. I go, why? I'm
Hawaiian, bro.
I got to make excuses for my own thing, and it was interesting because then the show completely sold out. We had a Hana Ho. We came back to do the show, and then they put White Hawaiian on the marquee. I said, not a single person from in fact, everybody in the Hawaiian community that knew me came up and was like, that's so funny, man. When I saw that, I bust up laughing. I saw because they knew who I am.
Right.
But the moral to that is that you just can't judge a book by the cover, man. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's from somewhere. In some ways, we're all White Hawaiians. We're all a mixture of this is and that. So
And as the Hawaiians will tell you, the aloha is right here. It's not skin color. It's this.
Yeah. It's right. So.
And you had it, and your family's had it. You've been spreading aloha your whole life.
I mean, I'd like to think that, my sister Amy's had an amazing career, and she's doing unbelievable, and, she's become one of the greatest female singers.
She's a diva. For sure.
She's a diva. Yeah. I taught her everything she knows.
Of course you did.
Just to be clear.
She's your little sister over there.
I know. I knew her back in the day when she used to eat sand.
That's right. You probably fed it to her, actually.
And Timmy, my brother Timmy, who ironically, when we were getting ready to do the show, he told me, "Bah, do not put me inside that show." And I was like, "Oh," and he was serious. He was like, "Do not talk about me in the show." And I was like, Okay. So I talk about him some in the show, and I don't really talk about him. And then I thought about it after a while, and I went back to him and said, you know what? I'm going to respect your wishes. You don't want me to put you in the show. You know why? Because I'm going to do a whole show about you.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to do an entire show about my brother.
On Gilliam's Island. On Gilliam's Island. Now, okay, how come your brother didn't get the performer gene? I mean, you and your sister, but your brother?
Well, the irony of that is that my brother is the funniest person I know. If anybody knows my brother is hilarious. Yeah. I mean, he's truly the funniest guy I know. I mean, nobody tells a story like my brother. And like when he's been, sailing on Hokulea and all of his adventures around the world, his stories are so funny. And I'm serious. I do want to write a show that's around the adventures of Captain Timi Tete.
Oh, I bet that would be fantastic. That'll be that's coming soon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, you've been so prolific, and it's so great that you've taken your life story and your family's life story and made it so incredibly entertaining.
Yeah.
I think I saw White Hawaiian 3 times.
Okay.
and I could see it 30 more.
No.
I mean, it's just so much fun. It's like some of the most fun I've had in the theater ever, and that includes theater all over the world. You know, so
that means a lot, man.
Well, a one-man show to pull that off with all those different characters. You play how many characters?
Well, altogether there's 9 characters.
9 characters.
Yeah. So, but you know, it's my family, so it's a joy to play them. You know, I mean, my favorite character in the show is my mom, because I can do my mom. I do her the best, I think, of everybody. You know, and my mom, fortunately, she got to see the show before she passed, and she was howling, she was cackling.
Oh, good.
And the only thing she said to me after the show, she said, "Well, I didn't say it like that." I'm like, "Yeah, you did, Mom. You said it exactly like that."
Now, feedback from your family, is everybody happy with it, besides your brother, who didn't want you to mention him?
My brother said, when he saw the show, he only said one thing to me. He said, "You say too much." I go, "Brah, it's our story, man. It's a be proud of it. There's nothing wrong with that, you know." I've seen since we opened it in 2019, we've seen about 15 to 16,000 people who've seen the show.
15, 16,000. Wow.
Yeah, over the course of the run of the show. So, you know, I mean, it's, you know, to answer your question, yeah, I think everybody's been incredibly supportive of it. And, you know, it's fun to revisit. You know, my mom and dad are both gone now, so it's just fun to keep their legacies alive.
Yeah.
They were amazing people, unbelievable parents. I'm so lucky. Yeah. We're so lucky to have had them.
Well, Maui's lucky to have you and to bring all that to us, because it's like I said, it's so enjoyable.
Thanks, man.
You know, you've done 150 performances. Anything happen in those shows? Like when you're in the theater, like live theater, right? Anything can happen. Did anything happen in any of the shows that would threw you off course or made you have to like cover for mistakes or anything like that?
100%. When I opened the show at the Mac, there's a scene that the scene I do on roller skates. And I miscalculated and I skated onto the stage and I hit all of my props and everything and just went off the other side of the stage. Everything crashed down on the floor. The audience was like, "Oh my God, what just happened?" And I got up and I just kept going. The guy helped me put the stuff back up on the stage, and I just kept going. That was a monumental moment. I've had people heckle me and say things, you know, like it's a stand-up comedy show, which is really not a stand-up comedy show. And people like say something or ask me a question in the middle of the show, and I'm kind of like, I'm doing a performance here, man.
Did you have to break character and address them?
No, I mean, fortunately, I break the fourth wall in the show a lot. I talk to the
like a
audience
side,
but
just, like a cartoon, like a side.
Yeah. But
I remember I went to a Joni Mitchell concert once, and she was singing in the middle of the song. I was at Tanglewood, Massachusetts. In the middle of the song, she goes, "Shut up!" Whole audience goes, "Whoop."
I did have one other funny thing happen that was noteworthy. There's a scene in the show where I'm playing my grandmother, and she's at the Cotton Club in New York City in 1942, and she performed there. She did perform there, and she comes out on stage and she's singing the Cockeyed Mare of Kauaʻi. At one point of the show, I asked if anybody wants to have my autograph in the thing, and this woman pulled her chichi out and wanted me to sign her chichi. Which of course I did.
Of course, I mean, you have to accommodate your
I thought,
fans.
I thought, well, that was like one of the weirdest things everybody's ever done to me. I was like, okay, never seen that before.
And you played a bunch of different venues too. I mean, the Mac. I think I saw you at Mulligan's. I think it was.
Yeah, we were there for a short period. It opened at the Mac, and then COVID hit, and so. The show just kind of, I had to sit on it until the air cleared, and then we tried to run it at Mulligan's for a little while, but then ultimately we found Akakū, Pro Arts.
Pro Arts.
And that's been the home for the longest time, and I can't thank, Lynn McEwen and Angel, who's been running the show for me, an amazing crew.
They have a great operation there.
They do. It's been, I do the show every Sunday, 3 p.m. matinee. And a lot of times I have to do the show on the set of another show that's currently running there. So,
okay.
And so, which has been kind of an interesting challenge. But they've been wonderful. I can't say enough about Pro Arts and how wonderful the run has been there.
And you haven't gone off island with it yet? But
I did. I took it to Kauaʻi. I took it to Kauaʻi for 6 months. We ran up on the North Shore at Anainaho, which was unbelievable fun. And suddenly I got to do the show in a way bigger venue. So the roller skating bit was great because I got to roller skate through the whole venue.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic run. I was flying over every Thursday and doing the show. Kauaʻi was fantastic. The people were amazing. So you know, I want to take the show on the road. I just got to kind of see where those cards are going to fall. Maybe taking it to Oahu. Got a couple venues that we're looking at over there to take it there.
I think it would be huge over there. Huge.
You know, hopefully.
Yeah, it would be. Do you have a favorite venue?
A favorite venue?
Venue, all the ones you played.
I do have a couple of favorite venues that I've played when I was touring with Uncle Willie back in the day. I really love the Aladdin Theater in Portland, which is fantastic. It's a lot like the EL. It's like the EL Theater.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Let's see, there's a venue in Seattle, the Triple Door, which is a really cool venue. And you know, there's been a few over the years that we've traveled to, a couple places in New York, and you know.
In terms of White Hawaiian, what is your favorite venue?
Well, I mean, I'm going to say Pro Arts only because the show fits really well in that space. The show does better in a smaller venue because it's very, it's very
kind of intimate.
It's intimate, and it's just you get more of a feel from the audience, because the show's. It's a comedy. It's a one-man musical extravaganza, is what it is.
To say the least.
But it plays better in smaller venues.
And these days more than ever, people need to laugh.
I mean, I'm telling you,
you're making people laugh, and that's such good therapy these days.
It is, and in this case, the show. While the show is a comedy for sure, but there's a lot of really heavy moments in it. A lot of moments in it that I think really shed light on the plight of the Hawaiian culture.
March 1st at Pro Arts, Eric Gilliom, the White Hawaiian. Don't miss it, because we don't know when he'll be back up on the stage again with this show, and you're going to put it on hiatus for a little bit, but you'll be doing it again in Hawaii, at Oahu, I'm sure.
This show's not going away.
You're going to have to do it probably for the rest of your life. And, you'll have to bring it back and do it. And now that you know it by heart,
instead of being on roller skates, I'll be on a walker.
And did the show change over time? Have you made like subtle changes throughout?
It's evolved. It's evolved. It's gotten better. We refine it. We write funnier jokes in the context of the story. But
so it evolves.
It's gotten better. Absolutely.
That's fantastic, Eric. I just want to thank you for coming down to our studios. You're welcome here anytime.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
And we love you.
You guys have been great to me.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And for Eric Gilliom, the White Hawaiian, and Akakū, thank you very much for watching.
Aloha.